Hey guys, so we're here with a special guest, Carla.
Hey y'all.
And today we're doing an all about college video, and it's about our experiences, and we're gonna answer a lot of questions about it. And each of us have had a different experience, but we all went to the same high school and then we separated in college. And we all just graduated from a 4-year college with our bachelors, so we're gonna just talk about our experiences in college.
So before we get into our college experiences, I just want to say that I got these awesome glasses from a website called Firmoo, and they have a wide variety of glasses, and I had a really good experience with them. The shipping was really fast. I think the only thing that I kind of had a hard time with ordering was they asked for my pupil distance. And I didn't have that, so I literally just got a measuring tape and tried to measure the distance. So for prescription lenses, you should ask your doctor for your pupil distance if you want to order from this website. They are awesome, and I have a promo code to get you free glasses. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling, which is $6.95, and the code is Ravi. So I'll leave the link down below and the code, and I hope you guys get some really cool glasses. I went to New York University, specifically the School of Engineering.
I went to Babson College in Waltham, Massachusetts.
And I went to St. John's University in Queens, New York.
I'll start because I went the farthest away. So I chose Babson College because when I knew I wanted to study business in undergrad, and it has a focus on entrepreneurship and business. I also got a 4-year full tuition scholarship from the Posse Foundation to go. So that was also part of my reasoning for going. And when I visited, I just really clicked with the schools.
So the reason why I picked NYU is I always wanted to go to NYU. So I only applied to one school.
Not recommended.
And my guidance counselor freaked out, and she made me apply to the CUNYs because we're all from New York. So they have City University of New York, which is a lot cheaper.
It's a public city school.
Yeah. So I applied there, and I applied to NYU, and I only came here because I got enough scholarships and I had enough money to go here. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't, and they had the major that I wanted to do.
Yeah, I chose St. John's, honestly, because I got rejected from the ones that I wanted, and then the ones that I did get accepted to was didn't give me enough scholarships. Most of it was loans. So St. John's was the most scholarship giving school, so I chose that, and I wanted to stay in the city as well.
Mine was strategic management, which, for those who don't speak Babson, is basically kind of consulting.
Oh, really? Oh, mine was chemical and biomolecular engineering. You're the smart one, 4 years for free, oh my gosh. I had a minor in psychology, but I decided not to finish it because I didn't want to take an extra class. So I don't have that minor, but I'm one class away.
I majored in psychology, and my minor was biology.
I don't know.
Same.
Okay, so at Babson, we're not required to choose a concentration at all, but most people declare concentration if they do in their final year. And it just turned out that the way my classes lined up, I had almost all the requirements for strategic management. So then I just took a few remaining classes and I did that. Plus, I did this class called the Managing and Consulting Field Experience, and that made me really interested in consulting.
So I did not know that I was going to do chemical and biomolecular engineering. I just knew that I liked math and I liked science, all the sciences, physics and chem and bio. someone gave me an idea to do chemical and molecular engineering. So I just declared it when I got in, and I ended up liking it. So it just worked out.
I chose psychology because I like the way people's minds are, and that's just what allowed me to pick that one. I picked it, like that's what I decided I wanted to do from a while ago.
She was probably the first person to know what she wanted to do. No, but I wanted to. I was like, I wanted to be an astrophysicist. I wanted to be a forensic anthropologist. I wanted to be like so many different things that were all like in the science field. And then I thought about like if I could get a job, and I just narrowed it down.
Did you change your major, Heather?
No, I didn't change my major.
I never changed my major, but I changed like the field I wanted to go into. Because first, I didn't know if I wanted to do like be a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and the difference was med school. And then I took my first psychology class, and I really liked the bio of it. So I was like, I want to do like the medical side of it. So I was on a pre-med track, and then that got like way too much for me. So then I decided to go to the physician assistant track, which they're very similar in like prereqs, but they require like a few different classes. We both commuted and Carla dormed.
So my school is really international. So my first year, I had a roommate from Indonesia, and she was hardly there because her sister actually went to Boston University and had an apartment off campus, so she was always in Boston. So it was kind of lonely first year actually. And then my second year, I had another double with a good friend from New Jersey, and my junior year and my senior year I actually lived in the same suite. It was a 6-person suite with girls, but with different people each year.
We both commuted from home, but it felt like I lived in school.
The only annoying thing about commuting is like going home, because sometimes it's just more convenient to be on campus. Like if I dormed, I would probably study a lot more on campus, but it's just I feel like I don't want to get home so late, and it's like a long commute, and I know I have to take buses, so no one wants to take a bus at like 10 p.m. It never comes, and it's just inconvenient.
It's creepy.
Yeah, it is creepy because there's no one there. So unless I was getting like picked up, then I would like study in my friend's dorm. But other than that, I usually studied at home.
Mine is smack in the city, so everything's around there. And if I just needed to get away from school, I could literally just go down the block and go shopping.
My campus is pretty huge, like square foot wise, but it's only about like 2,000 people. So I feel like if you didn't go to Babson, even if I didn't know your name, like I could easily pick you out. Like we don't go here. And
What are you doing?
my school isn't big on. It's not a big sports school like some schools like in the South and stuff. If like there were a major sport, it'd be business. Like literally, like people are walking around in like suits and stuff on the regular, and that's pretty normal. So that's my school.
My campus was really big, and I really like my campus. It's like the major thing I like about the school. But it's like in the middle of nowhere, so it's like grass and flowers and just a big like green campus, and it has a lot of buildings, and I like that about the school, that you get to have classes in different buildings. And it looks pretty too.
Oh, fun fact about Babson. So Wellesley, the town that it's in, is actually a dry town, meaning they don't serve alcohol anywhere. So my school has its own zip code because we have a pub on campus. Interesting fun fact.
Ours is a dry campus, so you're not even supposed to have, like, because I'm a Catholic school, so you're not supposed to have alcohol, condoms, anything like that.
Condoms?
Wait, so if RAs find condoms,
yeah,
they-
you can get a write-up.
What?
You're not
Really?
supposed to have bottles or anything either.
my school like throws the Trojans at you.
Oh, so my core classes, like classes that everyone took, were like physics and MATLAB and So those were like really big classrooms, like they were in a lecture hall. And honestly, I prefer the smaller classrooms because in lectures, like the big lecture rooms, I like watch YouTube videos, like I watch Sorted Food like all the time, and I would Skype and and I would Uvu back in the day. So I didn't pay attention at all. And it was just like fun chatting with the person behind you or like, yeah. So I prefer smaller ones.
Yeah, we all went to a really small high school. We had a graduating class of like 70 people, so I think that's like normal for us. But most of my classes were about like 30 something people. My largest class was like 60-ish. So I never had any lecture hall classes. But it's good, but it has its cons too because people notice if you're late and stuff like that. It's not like, it's chill.
Yeah, so we went to a small high school, but I went to a bigger middle school, so I was like, I didn't adjust to the small high school. So I figured I would like a bigger college, but then I didn't because I was so used to like having small classes in high school. But all our science classes are lecture halls or like big classrooms with 70, 80 people in them. And then like, I know my psychology classes weren't that big. Some of them were, but most of them are a regular 30 people classroom size. And then there's like math and English and those classes that were like 20 or 15 people, which I don't mind the small classes because I learn more in them, but it's just awkward. Like if you're late, people look at you and then you can't really leave early if you want to. Like it's easier in a bigger class. It's just awkward in a smaller class, but you do learn more.
Yeah, and you get to talk to your professor more, so if you need like a recommendation letter.
They know better.
Small classrooms is where it's at.
But that's also like in our school we had such big classrooms. It's hard to like make a connection with your professor. So I found that hard for me. Thanks. Sorry. So I found that hard for me to like make a relationship with a professor unless it was more of a interactive class.
So I was part of IKE, which is American Institute of Chemical Engineering, something like that. And I was also part of WISE, which is the Women in Engineering. And sometimes I would go to SHEP events, which is Society of Hispanic Engineers. I know I'm not Hispanic, but they had really cool events like careers, like career fairs and resume helping and cover letters. So you don't have to like, just because it's like Hispanic engineers or like black engineers or women doesn't mean you have to be that to get into the club. So don't worry about that. As long as like the events that they have are useful for you, then you should go, stop by and, you know, interact with people and get some help. So I did that all the time. And also like all the events that ever exist have free food. So if you're poor, that's where it's at, and they always have really, really good free food, I think. I almost like never had a day where I didn't get free food at school, to be honest. I would always text her and be like, yo, there's free food. And she'd be like, shut up.
So the only club I was part of was ISSO, which is Indian Subcontinent Student Organization. And it was like the only club that included like my culture. And they had a lot of cool events that were like nice because it brought people together, and that's where I made a lot of my friends. And I just participated in their dance events. And other than that, the only other events I went to were the ones with the free stuff, free food. Because if you're gonna pay for college, you might as well get everything you're paying for. If they have free food, why would you not? And our school had a lot. Like not as much as her, she would have it every single day. But when we had events, like they go all out. We had carnivals, we had ice cream trucks, like multiple times on campus. So it's nice.
So I was more active in clubs like my first and second year. Towards like my junior and senior year, I kind of became an inactive member, but I was still on the email list. And so I was part of this club, a philanthropy club called Women Giving Back. I was also part of Origins of Necessary Equality, which is a group about like diversity and equality. And I was also, I went to Black Student Union events, even though I wasn't part of the club and stuff. geographically very diverse. Like I was saying earlier, it's like 30% international, but domestically, like I feel like my school gets away with saying like we're so diverse because we have like tons of Hispanics from like South America and like Central America, but like as for like domestic, it's a very small percent. So I'd say maybe like a big chunk are from the Northeast, and then a third are from international, and then the other third is from like everywhere else in the country.
Mine depends on the school, you know, so like I went to the engineering school, so it wasn't really that diverse. Most of us were like Asians, that like includes like me, Oriental, or wherever, anywhere in Asia, and a good chunk of those were international students, and most of the students were male actually, so I think it's like a crazy ratio. I think it's like 80-20 or something like that, for the engineering school. But like other schools like Say Yes and Tisch, they of course have more females, and you know it's a lot more diverse, because we come from all over. So this, like the engineering school specifically, has a lot of commuters. We're all like in the New Jersey, New York area, so we just commute from there because all the trains are here, so it's pretty convenient for us.
And I think my school, like my psychology major was mostly girls. There was like a few males in our classes, but most of them were female. But then like science classes, electives, it was very mixed. And races, very mixed too. Like, except for pharmacy. Most of the pharmacy students are Asian, but other than that, everyone else is mixed in every major or every school.
Like 1,000. Oh my gosh, in high school I did nothing, and then here I like cried every night, stayed over here every night, and like these people would like laugh at me because like I did nothing in high school and they did work, and like the roles had reversed. It was so hard. I did not know what I was getting myself into. I thought I would, you know, fly by. It was hard.
I thought that high school prepared me well for college. Like seriously, I spent a lot of time during the IB program, like doing work. So it was like when I only had class like 2 days a week, like my senior year in college, I was like, this is breezy.
No, I thought college was so hard. Like high school, I did a lot of work, but I've never studied that much for a class. Like in high school, if I studied on the train or I studied like the night before, I was fine. In college, like in my classes, if you don't study like from a week or a few days before, you're screwed. And I'm a very like procrastinating person, so I like to leave my stuff for last minute. And I like before I used to cram and I used to get everything out of it and get good grades. But then in college, like if you cram, you forget everything when the test comes. Like you blank out. And also like in high school, we focused a lot on humanities. So I was fine in my English classes and my history classes. I got A's in those, but science classes, I didn't feel well prepared for that at all. Like it was so much information, and the only way to learn it is like memorize it and like practice it, and you just have to like breathe the information, otherwise you won't pass. And also it's like so easy to fail a class in college. Like it's so easy to get bad grades, where in high school you have the whole year to like bring your grade up. In college, like most of my classes were like 2 tests and a final. If you do bad in any of those 2 tests, you're basically gonna get a C or a D, or it's like a very little chance to get a B or an A.